So that's what I wrote for that part.
That the part where you mentioned life will kind of stay where it's at if you're not kind of open to new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I met plenty of people like that where you kind of just try to offer some perspective on different points of view of life, and they're like, a lot of times they just kind of say, well, I know what I'm doing, like I know, like you don't got to tell me this,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes their perception is a little bit distorted, but you try to offer a certain sense of guidance, a more heartfelt sense of guidance, and then a lot of times people will reject.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just reject sometimes what things have to say, and then a lot of times they get kind of stuck in those that arrogant way of thinking where they think that, like, I don't need to learn anymore, like I know it all. Even in the spiritual communities, you'll see a lot of times where these types of people where they say, like, I know what I'm talking about, like I talk to the upper gods and stuff like this, and they tell me that I'm totally fine and I'm in tune with everything, and like I know what I'm doing, like I don't need to learn anymore, and I don't need to take any information from you. Even kids, like, there sometimes little kids will say they'll say some of the darnest things, but like kids will ultimately they'll show you what it's like to be a child again, and sometimes I miss that part, but like kids, they're kind of there as reminders to not take life so serious all the time too, and to let you know that, like, don't forget who you are and don't forget to be a child too at the same time, because a lot of times somebody might be caught up in their ways, kind of falls into that people growing up too quick. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like that kind of falls into the earlier where, like, I you mentioned the finish line,
Mm-hmm.
the finish line analogy. People are trying to grow up too quick, right? And they you could be meet a freshly 21-year-old kid, and they think they have to be this uptight adult, and they can no longer partake in fun activities, and they can't joke around in public and have fun and stuff. Well, then you see little kids just running around having being free and fun and stuff, and you see that and you're like, I want to do that. Like I just want to be free and I just want to be happy and stuff like that. But these
Yeah. When was the last time you, I don't know, jumped on a bed or something? Or when was the last time you just ran through a field for no reason?
yeah, or bought a gumball.
Yeah, just went to a 25-cent machine and bought a cheap gumball.
Yeah, it's just fun to partake in those little types of things, but you'll meet people in life too who kind of hold themselves to a really high standard, and then they don't want to change their ways. They think that, like, I'm an adult and I don't have to change, and you don't have to tell me that because I know, like, they're so closed off, yet they think that they're evolving when they're really just hanging on. They're stifling their evolution just because they want to be stuck with where you're at. And the mirror is going to say, this is who you are. You don't wish to move forward. This is who you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's
This is who you are. This is how you're showing up to this moment. So this is who you are in this moment. This is what the mirror is going to reflect back at you in this moment.
Yeah, you'll say, I don't need to learn anymore, and the mirror will say, you don't need to learn anymore. Got it. And then that's it. That's pretty much what.
Yeah, they said there's no reason to like there's no reason for the mirror to like whenever like I wrote like that doesn't mean that life is still isn't going to offer you any help, but if you believe you know it all the help that is actually in front of you, you're not gonna notice it. Like you're gonna walk right past it and not notice that somebody's handing you something very useful that probably could help you out a lot, but you're not thinking about it. So it's gonna appear to you as if nothing, But life, no matter what, will always help you out. That's you can say that God is always speaking to you. God is always talking to you no matter what you say, no matter what you think you know. The God is still going to tell you that there's something that you don't know. But then God is going to continuously talk to you, but it's up to you how much you're going to listen. You can or you maybe you just don't listen at all, and the creator loves you unconditionally no matter what. It's still going to offer you guidance no matter what.
Yeah, arrogance just kind of
You see a lot of it, and you do see a lot of that even in like spiritual communities too. Like you do come across people who like who who still feel like they kind of know it all, who want to know, like they want to appear like the top dog. They still want to appear like that they're like they know everything, that they're the all knowing. And it's, you kind of you come across those type of things still, and it's, you kind of just, let them play their, you just let people play their game. Like, all right, that's what if that's how you want to, more power to you. If that's how you, if that's what you need to do to, feel a certain way, then fine, do it.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for us, I think we kind of never really put ourselves on a high pedestal like that, like where we're like, no, like you don't need to tell us, we know what we know. And in the beginning,
Yeah,
yeah, well,
definitely in the
in the
beginning.
beginning,
Yeah.
like you think, you know it all about life and stuff, but like once you get over, as time moves on, you just learn to like let go and just be relaxed and be calm, and like
You
you don't try to control matters, you just let matter flow.
Yeah, you definitely learn. Yeah, you learn really a lot of. You learn some humility and some and really how to humble yourself down. Like, because definitely in the beginning though, like I do write about this in the book. Like there was definitely a point in time, especially in the beginning of our travels, where I did feel like that. Like I did feel like I felt like I held something powerful, and I felt like I really did kind of feel like I knew everything. And but and then at the same time, in the beginning, like you think there's like, you feel like you're gonna evolve to a certain point, and then next thing you know, you're just gonna, something's gonna happen, and then you're gonna ascend to a whole new realm. And in reality, that's not what it is. Like you just you realize there is no end to it. There is no finish line. No one's racing. There's not even somebody who is you might look at as a spiritual master or ascended master. Even they got a ton more evolving to do. Even they do as well. Even the most evolved person still has a lot of evolving to do. They're just at a different part on the path than you. And you just, once you realize, like, you can take that pressure off of yourself. Like you have to like evolve right here right now, or else you take like you know you can start living your life rather than read every single, not to discourage anyone who reads books or anything or watches videos. Like by all means, if that stuff interests you, by all means read all the books you can, but don't forget, like, there's still life to live. Like you can go outside and go for a walk and talk to if you're a if you're in the spiritual community, you can go talk to an unevolved person or somebody who doesn't even think about these type of topics. They want to talk about sports. You can talk to people.
Yeah, you don't have to like hold yourself to a standard. Um, the you mentioned the hoarding too. A lot of people, they carry baggage in their mind and in their hearts, especially in their hearts, and that manifests itself as people collecting and collecting and collecting and hanging on to things. Um, that's definitely something that I never really been was a hoarder. I remember in the beginning of our journey, and especially up until now, like I do not like to have too much clothes. Like in my closet, I only have maybe, I think, like eight eight shirts and a couple pairs of pants and stuff. Like even to this day, that's something that I hold on to. Like if I know that I'm getting too much of something, I know that I'm gonna have to get rid of it. Food's a whole different story, but having things, I don't like to have too many things because I feel like that's just too much unnecessary baggage. But when you bed down and you have a home and stuff, like it's nice to have things, but it's also good to not be attached to those things. It's good
Hmm.
to be able to just have something and then freely give it away. There's been hundreds of times where I've just given away things without even expecting a form of payment or money for something. Like I can give something away just like that, even if it's high value. If I paid $300 for it, $500 for it before, I can openly just give it away just like that, and I don't expect anything because I know it's just a thing. I used it, and it no longer has value to me, and that's what matters to me. But I also there's been times where I bought something, and I buy it and then I recognize that I'm not using it and I'm like, you know what? I can just give this away. Like I'm not using it. And it's never hard for me to be able to do those things. I just don't have attachments to things as much as I used to. You know, when I worked in the oil field a long time ago, I was always buying something, buying, senselessly buying. And it can be a really vicious, nasty habit to get into. Is just impulse buying, buying things that you think you need. And then it stacks up in your house and then it becomes cluttered. And then you're hanging on to all this baggage and all this stuff. And you don't really know why you're impulse buying, but you're buying and you're buying and you're buying. But it turns out, you know, it goes deeper than just
Mm-hmm.
reality, you know?
Yeah, especially, and then I was thinking about like being in a cycle of doing the same thing of that type of stuff where when the cycle is the same, it's I feel like it's different when you're following your passion, or you're following what you feel is your life's purpose. Like it's your vehicle for your soul's evolution. Like what are you here to do? That's when like that's where you can you can do the same thing over and over. You can keep on doing you know the same thing over and over. But um when life becomes the whenever you start getting that feeling in life, like something has to change. Like I think I talked about it in maybe the second episode, could have been the first episode. I don't know where I talked about it at, but I was talking about like how um, I knew at some point we were gonna have to get all this stuff up and going. Like I was kind of, I was making music, but I wasn't like recording. I was just kind of like just writing a lot. Um, Wanted to make movies, make films. I wanted to do all that type of stuff. I wanted to get something going, get out to the public. I wanted to get my voice out there, get my face out there. I knew at some point in life that was gonna like I needed to do that, but I was always just like, and writing the book. I was pushing it to the side, and then that was building up an energy within me. Like I felt this compression, I felt this pressure that was just like growing and growing, and then it manifested itself inside of it manifested itself in life. Like I started I would move from job to job, not because I couldn't hold on to a job. It was just I was finding that I was getting extremely bored very quickly, and I was fixing that. I was finding that temporary fix. I don't know what do they call it, finding that fix or whatever, just to kind of ease up that feeling that I was feeling. But no matter what, like going to a new job wasn't helping me at all. Like it would fix it for like a week or so. You meet new people, this and that. It's all cool, but then the only thing I felt inside, I was like, it's just growing. This is just growing because I'm not doing anything about what I know I should be doing. And then when I finally was just like all the glow, I just surrendered to it. I was like, fine, it's I don't writing the book was I knew that was a huge part. To me, I always felt like it was daunting, but I put a post about it. Like I took a long time to write it because I thought like it needed to be told a certain way. So like that I just that the way that I was telling myself how it needed to be written was only pushing it away from me, and it never being done. All these things and like making films, I was like, well, I'll have to write a story. I got to write a script, or I'm going to have to learn like at least some basics of like, filming something. And I'm going to have to like work with like clips and this and that. I'm just going to have to just do it one of these days. And then I would always know inside myself, yeah, that is what you have to do. But I would always be like, but I don't want to learn that. I don't want to take the time to learn all that stuff. And instead I would just, you know, fuck around on my phone, or do whatever I can to ignore that.
It can feel a bit daunting, like at first, whenever you first try to do this thing. Like it feels like it is a lot of work, obviously, and it's not it's not cheap to get the equipment and stuff, but you could do something with something as simple as your phone, just recording a video with your phone, and that you can get something going just like that. It just takes a will. But it's a lot of procrastination at first. And I mean, I understand procrastination because I procrastinate a lot. Everyone procrastinates. I mean, there's been plenty of times where we met people that say, man, I should have did this, or I'm gonna do it, but I'll do it later. And then I'll do it later, and then sure enough, later never comes. And then maybe 3 years from now they finally decide to do it. Well, at least you got it done. I just don't think it was the right time to actually start it. Whereas in now, like, you just have to go with the feeling, the gut feeling of when is the right time to do something, and you have to kind of follow your intuition.
Mm-hmm.